is Rashapan Siripong, and today I'm going to be presenting the progress of my article in several aspects. I will be briefly explain and elaborate some of the important points about my topic. Women's right to access menstrual products freely. So this is my content page. In this presentation, I will be mentioned about the background of the problem, structure of the article, and the progress in my writing part. Moving on to the background of the problems. So first of all, I will be talk about the background information and the common themes of the problem regarding my topics. So I will be unpack the problems from the broadest issue and then narrow down to the most specific circumstance by starting with the basic general principle and the theory of human right, and then look down into each several related rights. Then move on to our most significant right, which is the woman right, and how it should be impact on the period poverty. Lastly, I will be evaluate on what to extent that the current situation of COVID-19 has been exacerbate the woman right to get access menstrual product and on women decision making process as well as the financial hardship. Human right. Under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, human right is the most fundamental right, which is the main features related to other rights such as gender equality under Article 2 regarding sex and gender, where everyone shall be treated equally. Secondly, right to health and right to safety under Article 25, right to standard of living adequate for the health care, well-being of themselves, medical care, and necessary social services. In addition, this also related to the right to access for the basic biological needs such as pad and tampon for the women. Women right and period poverty. Women right and period poverty, this is something more specific and more significant. In other words, this can consider as the major theme of the problem of my article concerning the right of women and the period poverty. Therefore, I will be focused on the right of women to get access to adequate healthcare and will be emphasize the right to manage menstruation without shame or any stigma from society. COVID-19 pandemic. So due to the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic, which create a massive impact on society and on how people making decision. During COVID-19, people tend to have less income, therefore decision-making process will be very crucial for them. Since most people will have to be aware on their spending, by having less income and more outcome, people will force to spend their money prior on what it is necessary for them. In this case, food and shelter seem to be more essential for most of people. However, menstrual product also necessary for them, especially for all of the women as well. Consequently, this has created a burden and financial hardship on women. So moving on to the structure of the article. So in my article, I will be elaborate the main principle, theories on human right, right of health, and women right. Secondly, I will be briefly talk about the problem that arise related to the gender equality, women right to access to adequate healthcare, period poverty, and COVID-19 pandemic. Next, I will be talk about the reason why menstrual products should be free in every country by compare and contrast the advantages and disadvantages in different regimes. By doing the comparative study and explain other countries' procedure on how they provided free product or how they adjust or eliminate the tax rate of the product. Then finally, I will be mention or suggest about the solution and give recommendation by talking about the situation in Thailand and how could Thailand be improved, adapted, or apply new law from different countries. Next, my progress in my writing the article. So firstly, I've been brainstorm all of my ideas by making a mind map, then expand my ideas into each possible aspect. In this stage, I also try to structure out my ideas on how each section will be consist and how they will be linked briefly. Secondly, I've started collecting data and do some further research on the topic in order to understand more about the problems and how people currently respond or have any opinion with it. Next, I've gathering all the data and make selection of which problem I would consider to expand more in my article. After that, I've been investigate the problem regarding the menstrual product in domestic, which is Thailand, and international by looking through the foreign country. And lastly, I've analyzed the extent to what COVID-19 has actually exacerbated on people decision making process toward the right to buy product, including the financial hardship. So this is the briefly introduction about my topic and progress on my article. Thank you.